Then let's see that is the attachments related with that the femur. First, that is the fovea. So the fovea of the femur, it provides the attachment of the round ligament, or that is called the ligamentum teres or the femoris. Then the second one, that is the greater trochanter. So this one. So the piriformis, it is inserted into that the apex. So here you can see at the apex of the greater trochanter, that is the piriformis is inserted. Then second one, that is the gluteus minimus. So here that is the gluteus minimus, it inserted to the lateral rough part of the anterior surface of the greater trochanter. Then next to it, that is the obturator externus. Sorry, the obturator internus and the two gemelli. So these are inserted on the upper rough impression on the medial surface. So this one. So this region, that is the obturator internus and the two gemelli, they are inserted. Then the obturator externus. So obturator externus, it should be inserted on the intertrochanteric. So the obturator externus, it should be inserted into that the intertrochanteric fossa, this one. Then the gluteus medius. So the gluteus medius, it should be inserted on that the lateral surface. So this one here. Then the psoas major, that is the it is inserted on that the apex of the medial surface of the lesser trochanter. So this one. After then, let's see that is the iliacus. So the iliacus, it is inserted on the anterior surface of the base of the trochanter and the area below to it. So here this one. Then the smooth posterior surface of the lesser trochanter. So it is covered by the bursa. Then the intertrochanteric line. So this one, intertrochanteric line. The intertrochanteric line. So this one here. It gives the attachment to that the capsular ligament of the hip joint. So here green color you can see. Then the attachment of the upper band of the iliofemoral ligament. So here you can see. Then the attachment of the lower band of the iliofemoral ligament. So in this region. Then the origin of the highest fiber of the vastus lateralis. So here in this another diagram you can see, that is this one. This is the vastus lateralis. So the vastus lateralis. So this one. So it should be originate from the upper and the lateral part of the intertrochanteric line. Then the vastus medialis. So it should be originate from the lower and the anterior part of the intertrochanteric line. Then from the quadrate tubercle, which is present on the posterior part of the intertrochanteric crest. So this one. So that is the quadrate tubercle, and here that is the insertion of the quadratus femoris. So that should be occur. Here you can see. Then the attachment of the shaft of the femur. So this one, that is the shaft of the femur. So on the lower side, on the popliteal surface, so on the medial side there is the origin of the medial head of the gastrocnemius. So this one. And on the lateral side of the popliteal surface of that the femur, it is origin of the lateral head of the gastrocnemius muscle. So this one. Then vastus intermedialis. So here you can see vastus intermedialis, this one. So it is originate from or arises from the upper 3/4 part of the anterior and the lateral surface. So this one, that is vastus intermedialis. Then the vastus lateralis. So here you can see, that is the thin margin which is present. So that is the vastus lateralis. So here you can see, that is thin margin is present. So it arises from the upper part of the intertrochanteric line. So here you can see this one, and then it is goes into the inferior aspect of the greater trochanter, the lateral margin of the gluteal tuberosity, and upper half of that is the lateral lip of the linea aspera. So here, then the vastus medialis. So the vastus medialis, here it can be originate from that is the lower part of the intertrochanteric line, and then it goes downwards, that is in this way. This one here you can see, and it is attached to the medial lip of the linea aspera to that the medial supracondylar ridge, this one. Then the deep fibers of the gluteus maximus, so it should be inserted on the gluteal tuberosity. So here, that is this one here, that is the gluteal tuberosity is present. So here you can see that is the insertion of the gluteus maximus. Then the adductor longus, so the adductor longus, it should be inserted. So here you can see that is the adductor longus, this one. So it should be inserted on the medial lip of the linea aspera. Then the adductor brevis, so here you can see this one, that is the adductor brevis. So it should be inserted a line extending from that the lesser trochanter to the upper part of that the linea aspera, this one. Then the adductor magnus, so here you can see this one. So the insertion of the adductor magnus, that is on the medial margin of the gluteal tuberosity, the linea aspera, and the medial supracondylar ridge, this one. Then the pectineus, so that is the pectineus is inserted from the lesser trochanter to that the linea aspera. So here you can see this is the pectineus. Then that is the plantaris. So here that is you can see that is the plantaris. So origin or the arises of the plantaris from the upper part of that is the lateral head of the origin of the gastrocnemius. So upper side, here that is the origin of the lateral lip of the gastrocnemius, and from above that is the plantaris that should be arises. So that is the popliteus muscle, it should be originate from the popliteal groove present on that the popliteal surface of the femur. Then that is the attachment to that the medial condyle. So here in this diagram, that is the medial condyle. So here that is the tibial collateral ligament, it is attached to that the medial epicondyle of the femur. Then the adductor tubercle, here it is present, so it gives the attachment or the insertion of the adductor magnus. Then attachment on the intercondylar notch, so here. So the anterior cruciate ligament, so anterior cruciate ligament, it is attached to the posterior part of the medial surface of the lateral condyle of the femur, so here in this region. Then the posterior cruciate ligament, so the posterior cruciate ligament, it is attached to that the anterior part of the lateral surface of the medial condyle of the femur, so here. Then the intertrochanteric line, so this one. So it gives the attachment of the capsular ligament of the knee joint and laterally to that the oblique popliteal ligament. Then the infrapatellar synovial fold, it is attached to the anterior border of the intercondylar fossa, so here, this one, in this region. After then, let's see that is the ossification of the femur. Before ossification, you know that is the red color of that the femur, it shows that is the origin of the muscle, and the blue color, it shows that is the insertion of the muscles. So these are the attachments related with that the femur. This is the posterior view, and here this is the anterior view, that is the attachment. After then, let's see that is the ossification. So that is the femur, it is ossified from the one primary center and the four secondary center. So the primary center, it is appear in the shaft, center of the shaft at the 7th week of the intrauterine life, and the secondary centers, they are appear one for, that is for the lower end of the femur, which is developed into that the 9th month of intrauterine life. Then one for, that is the head, it is appear during, that is the first 6 month of the life. Then one for, that is the greater trochanter, it is appears during the 4th year, and one for, that is the lesser trochanter, which develop at the 12th year of the life. So that is the ossification of the femur. Clinical or the applied point related with that the femur. So that is the fracture of the femur that should be occurs into that the different age because of the accidental injury. So below to that the 16 year, that is the shaft fracture, that is very much common. Then more than the 14 to 40 year, there is, that is the bucket handle tear, that is very much common, this one. Then at the age of the 40 to that the 60 year, there is the Pott's fracture, that is very much common. And more than the 60 year, that is the neck of the femur fracture, that is very much common, this one. The next clinical point related with that the fracture of the neck of femur. So the neck of femur, that is supplied by the obturator artery and the retinacular artery, which is the branch of the circumflex artery. And if that is the fracture should be occur, so the blood supply to the neck of the femur, it should be restricted, and it should be occurs the avascular necrosis into that the neck of the femur. So that is very common condition that should be occurs. Next to it, that is the center of ossification in the lower end of the femur here, and even in the upper end of the tibia. It is seen by the X-ray, is used as the medico-legal evidence, this one, to prove that the newborn found dead was nearly full term and was a viable. So that is the point, that is when the fracture of the shaft that should be occur into that the upper 1/3 of the femur. So that is the upper segment, it should be goes backwards and laterally, and the lower segments, it should be goes on the front and the laterally. Then the last clinical point related with that the femur, that is the normal knee obliquely the line of the quadricep muscle and its insertion into that the tibia. It result in the angle called the Q angle, and it is normally 15 to 20 degree. And if that the angle it is increases, there may be lateral subluxation of the patella that should be occurs. So these are the clinical point related with that the femur.